I had the best sex I've ever had last night. No one knows I invited this guy I've been talking to over to my house for a date. I didn't go in with the expectation to hit the sheets, but I absolutely prepared myself for it on the off chance it would go there. Not even he was totally expecting for us to have sex. His protection was in the car. It wasn't even on him. But by God, was the night worth it. He was so fucking smooth, there was never any downtime where he wasn't kissing me, removing my clothes, or feeling me all over. Our heavy breathing, in sync, his fingers locked in mine, my body still craves that sensation of him there inside me. I want it so badly again, even though hardly any time has passed. I miss it. I've had some terrible sexual experiences, and you, the guy I invited over, you've erased those all from my mind. Never have I had a guy as caring as you, as intimate as you, and not the least bit focused on himself. In fact, I feel like an asshole for not giving you something in return. But maybe next time, if there is a next time. Sounds like that should definitely not be a one-time thing. Agreed. I had a similar experience like this in 2012. It was like movie magic. Then 6 months later, he moved across 2 states with me, and we just celebrated our 9-year anniversary on the 1st. Edit. I graciously accept these internet awards. I will share this with him later. Thank you guys. Believe in true love. It is out there. I see your 2012 experience and raise my 1998 experience. She was a really cute, smart, and cool girl my buddy dated, but ended up dumping so he could experience other girls. About the same time, he started being a dick to me. She and I occasionally pinged each other on AOL IM.
One day I asked her what she was doing for fall break, as she went to a school in another state. She had no plans, really. So I took a chance and offered that she come visit. In all honesty, even being a 21-year-old with tons of hormones, I really didn't plan on doing anything, had planned on sleeping on the couch and giving her my bed. I drove to the airport, parked, went in, and waited for her outside of security. She was shocked I went in. Her ex/my ex-buddy would just pick her up outside. We went to dinner, showed her around town, went out with some of my friends, and when we got back to my place, ready to crash, she insisted I didn't sleep on the couch. I knew it was on, like Donkey Kong. It was magic for both of us. I pretty much knew that my exes were all prep for her, and I would be a fool to let her get away. Long distance for our last 2 years of school. We moved in together when we moved back home, got married in 2002, so next year, 20 years. To this day, I still feel like the luckiest guy around. Ah, the good old days of being able to greet them at the gate. Seriously, now that is a love story. Congrats on finding your lobster. 20 years.
You say that, love the name by the way, but I had a guy I was with that I absolutely, above and beyond, loved the sex. It was the best ever. Would leave me feeling high for hours and hours after, but unfortunately, I would never do it again. I told him about how I felt. Probably a different situation than that of yours as a person. But I literally mentally was obsessed with it, with his technique and his style in the bedroom. We were drawn to each other like moths to a flame, whispers. Yes, that sounds ridiculous. But he is someone that would get me into so much trouble. Not a settling down type. He is someone that once I like it, I have to have it again and again, desperately. Regardless of where we were, it was effortless. But I feel like we started to get too reckless. He is a player with a girlfriend, as I found out later, disappointed, and also has that obsessive personality. He has texted and called me several times over the past year to reconnect, but I can't go there. BC, I am afraid I will never be able to stop or cut him off. He is in a high rank in its job, but has a DV record and can be stalkerish. So that is why I leave it alone. Found all this out after I slept with him. But if I overrode my logical side, and wasn't a monogamous woman with morals and didn't want my ass beat, no pun intended, I would keep him in rotation on the side in a heartbeat. I think physically we are the perfect match. He hits every spot, every time, without a doubt. I have never had that before, without trying.
It is just natural. I think he knows that and is like that with all the women he sleeps with. That is why I can't allow myself to think it is special or a real connection for me, because it isn't. I told him how much I like it, though, because it is dangerous for me. And we are both in agreement about the connection, but it just isn't anything more than physical. It can't be. He has asked me to call him when I am single, but I can't. Even when I was, I knew he was bad luck and bad news, so I embarked on a relationship with another man that makes me happy. It just isn't that same spark or connection, unfortunately, in the bedroom, but I am content with what we have. But if you dig deep enough into my mind, I think about that type of sex every day. It will always be a part of me, a switch that isn't going to be flicked. The man definitely ignited a fire inside of me that will not be conquered or mastered again, and some say that isn't fair for myself to go on without feeling that way, and it isn't fair to my sad. But I chose the love we have for each other and our connection over the ravenous and ravaging sex and passion with another man who could never love or care for me the same way. My sad ad is a godsend. He is really my best friend and we have a relationship I am proud of. Our sex is great, but it isn't the same. I don't know how to explain it, and probably got way off topic.
Best sex you ever had?
My wife, 40s F, asked me, 40s M, recently if I could remember the best sex of my life. I said that felt like a bit of a trap. She asked if it was with someone else, and I said yes, but didn't go into any detail. We've always had problems with sexual compatibility, sadly, so I don't think my answer was a surprise to her. And it wasn't my intention to offend. The conversation was lighthearted and good-natured. But she surprised me, mysteriously, by telling me hers was when we watched porn together, and how she was really turned on and wet. But that was well over a year ago. We've never done it since, even though I gently suggested it a couple of times in the months after. The conversation was a few weeks ago now. I asked her at the time if she fancied doing it again, but she declined. What gives? Anxiously. The best sex ever, but she doesn't want to do it again? Someone help me break that down. Desperately. Edit. I'm not asking about my answer. We both know our sex life is an issue, and the conversation was a relaxed chat, softly, not an argument. Sarcastically. If she was pissed off by my answer, I'd know about it. I'm asking about what goes on in the mind, mysteriously, that you think something is the best ever, but you don't want to revisit it. Disappointed. Edit 2. The sex she's referring to happened over a year ago. Slowly. The conversation happened a few weeks back. The timeline doesn't allow for this to be all about what I said in the conversation that happened a year after the sex. Your main question appears to be, why didn't my wife want to watch porn with me again if she liked it so much the last time? Anxiously. And you're getting frustrated by people focusing on your best sex answer. That's because many of us can see how these things are related, even if the timeline doesn't allow for direct cause and effect.
I cannot with authority speak for your wife, but generally, allowing yourself to get to a state of high arousal requires a woman be pretty comfortable. She needs to be able to turn off all the inhibitions in her head and either, 1, not care that her partner might judge her. This is where booze and drugs become key in hookup culture. Or 2, feel confident that her partner will not judge her and match her enthusiasm. She has to be willing to feel vulnerable and get out of her head. Believe it or not, getting to high arousal can be scary for some women due to feeling a lack of control. And plenty of us look back on how we acted during those losses of inhibition and cringe outside of the heat of the moment. So this brings me back to your best sex answer. Frankly, it indicates a lack of care for her and not matching her enthusiasm that I am guessing has been palpable in other ways, long before that conversation. That's why she didn't want to watch porn and go there again, because it was probably scary, even if she liked it. Very good answer.
Thank you so much for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next videos. In the meantime, check out the other ones. They're already waiting for you. Share your thoughts on this topic in the comments and tell your own stories. Wishing you a great day, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.